So let's start with the second. Now we are going, this is, if you understand the first one, now you can understand what are the factors which you have to know to make the spontaneous reaction to the non-spontaneous reaction. Maybe you can visualize this one if there is a side reaction is happening in your reaction or in any chemical industries. So you want to stop this reaction. So what would be the possible way and to stop this reaction? And this we are going to discuss right now. So again, this I have finished this one. So this was the spontaneous, and you can take this is the galvanic cell. Zinc is oxidizing. When zinc oxidizes, and this is the anode. After releasing the electron, this anode becomes the negatively charged. Electron flows from here, moving towards the cathode, and the copper consumes the electron. That's why this electrode becomes the electron deficient. That's why it is having the positive charge. And further, you are going to connect with the salt bridge because to complete the circle, the movement of the electron in the upper side, in the metallic wire, there should be a movement of the electrons, while in the solution, there should be a movement of the ions. So this is the circle is going to complete the movement of the electrons from the anode to cathode, and then it is the moving of the ions moving towards this one, and this cycle is complete, and this is called the galvanic cell, and this is the spontaneous reaction which is given over here. We have discussed right now. Now, actually, we are moving towards this one, and now we want this zinc should oxidize and the copper should reduce. That means opposite to their nature. That means the fourth one option, which was the non-spontaneous. If it is the non-spontaneous, then you must have to provide the energy, and that energy, it is written over here. It should, you have to provide at least 1.1 volt. Opposite to the sign which you are getting the energy over here, it is 1.1 volt. And if you make this reaction a reversible reaction, or to make this non-spontaneous reaction a possible reaction, then you must have to provide the minimum energy, that is called the 1.1 volt. And here, if you look at the battery, but we are giving the volt is 1.5, which is greater than the required through the half cell. So up to this level, you have learned already at your BS classes. That means if you provide this energy, this will become a reversible reaction. But now we are moving ahead at the ambition levels. Now we are going to explore what are the other possible reasons. Actually, when you provide this potential, the reaction will not be reversible. This zinc is not going to reduce, or copper is not going to oxidize. So what would be the possible reasons? And these we are going to discuss right now. So the first point is again, I'm using the whiteboard. Let's suppose I'm taking another example. This is the example is the copper plus 2. I'm just writing the half cells, and plus 2 electron forming the copper metal. And there is another half cell. I'm taking another half cell instead of the zinc, oxygen plus 4 hydrogen plus 4 electrons forming water, and this is the 2H2. You can take any half cell. So my objective is to give you a sufficient knowledge, so you should not be restricted to only 1 or 2 half cells. You can do the same exercise on any of the half cells you can take from any of the source. So again, if I ask what are the possible ways over here? Now, what are the first option is, I'm going to draw over here. This may be the first option. This may be the second option. Again, these options are impossible. These are not going to react with each other because both are the oxidized form, both are the reduced form. This is the conclusion we have already made. Now, there are the other two options. These are the cross-linking. If this is the rectangle and this is the rectangle, half circle, you have to take the whole as the this side. This will be the rectangle. This will be the rectangle, and of course, these will be the product. And in this case, these will be the rectangle, and these will be the product. So I am just erasing the first two options. And now, if I ask you, one of you, there are the two options. One is this, and the second one is this. Which one is the spontaneous and which one is the non-spontaneous? Or before this one, if I ask, either these two options may be possible in nature, what would be your answer? It is the Fakhr.
Possible and दोनों.
Okay. Mariam Nawab, Mabuna Zahid. Answer me,
सर
please.
आई थिंक ये दोनों पॉसिबल नहीं है क्योंकि वाटर बनाना है तो उसमें ऑक्सीजन या हाइड्रोजन तो है नहीं.
चलें और बताएं कुछ. यमुना
अगर
जुल्फकार. चलें ठीक है, मैंने आपका पॉइंट ले लिया. यमुना जुल्फकार, either these option are possible or not.
Sir, I think it's possible. We have both the states here.
Okay. Zainab, either these
जी
option.
सर.
Yes, answer me. The possibility of these two options possible or not?
सर मैं श्योर नहीं हूँ इसके बारे में, अभी सोच रही हूँ.
क्यों नहीं श्योर? आपने जो पहले देखे ना, मैं आपसे बिल्कुल कॉन्फिडेंट से आपको लेके चले. इफ देयर इज अगेन देयर इज यू आर नॉट पिकिंग अप द आइडियाज एंड इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर यू, फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू, इफ यू आर नॉट टेकिंग द प्रॉपर नोट्स अलोंग विद मी. तो हमने जो चार ऑप्शन दिए, चार ऑप्शन हर हाफ सेल, दो हाफ सेल के अंदर यही चार ऑप्शन रहेंगे. इट विल नॉट बी 5, इट विल नॉट बी 3 ऑप्शन. दो ऑप्शन इम्पॉसिबल हैं, दो ऑप्शन पॉसिबल होंगे. दिस इज
दोनों पॉसिबल होंगे.
Of course, ये होंगे. This may be happen. May be possible. These may be possible. Be confident. If you are not there, you will remain having uncertainty during the whole course. Not only this, with the other courses as well. So be confident when you are learning this course, especially my course. So these two options may be possible in a similar way we have described before, and among them one is the spontaneous and one is the non-spontaneous. This will happen with all the two half cells. ऐसे ही होगा, किसी के साथ हम ऐसे ट्रीट करेंगे. You have to do that. So आप बताएं which one is this spontaneous and which one is the non-spontaneous. No, your answer may be wrong or correct. It doesn't matter. Just any one of you. Okay. Sania Fias. Okay, Asra Shahid.
The one which have सर जिसका रिडक्शन पोटेंशियल ज्यादा होगा, पोटेंशियल ज्यादा होगा, वो स्पॉन्टेनियस होगा एज कंपेयर टू सेकंड. तो जिसका पोटेंशियल ज्यादा होगा वो रिडक्शन पोटेंशियल.
Okay, so reduction potential half cell का होगा. You can say this is the cell potential. When you are talking the cell, the reaction, then it must be the proper term would be the cell potential. And the first question over here, whenever I ask, you will think that means you first know what is the redox potential of these two half cells. Without redox potential, you cannot describe the reaction spontaneously. So that would be your answer. Okay, first let us know what is the redox potential of these two half cells. So now I'm writing over here the redox potential. I'm erasing these two. So now the potential of the first one, it is the same 0.34 and 345, some say 0.34, doesn't matter, whatever it is written over here. And the potential of the second is the 1.229. Now, if you pick the idea and over here and decide the spontaneity, that means rest of the course you will perfectly working with me. There will be no any confusion. So the what would be the spontaneous? First, I'm going to write the first option. So in the meantime, you just think in your mind, and then I will call some of you to answer the question, which either the first option is spontaneous or the non-spontaneous. So I'm just writing the option over here, the first, and before writing the option, you have to balance the equation. So this is the 4 electrons are there, and of course you have to multiply the whole equation with the 2 over here. Then these 2 multiplied 2 will be the 4 electrons. So when you open this equation, that would be 2 copper plus 2 plus 4 electron forming 2 copper metal. Okay, maybe you can write in your notebook because it is difficult for me to use the mouse again and again. So I am writing the option one. Option one over here is this is the reactant and this is the reactant, because the line which I'm going to connect, they will be as a reactant, and then the rest will be the product. Very simple, as we have done before. So this is the 2 copper plus 2 plus 2 H2O. Okay, there is nothing is left. Then we moving with the arrow. Copper is going to reduce to the copper metal with the 2 copper metal because we have balance with the 2. And now what is left over here? These are the reactant, oxygen, O2 plus 4 hydrogen. We have done with the reaction. There is no need to write the electrons because there must be a 4 electron this side, 4 electron this side. These will be cancelled out. That means the equation is balanced. If the electrons are coming out, that means you have not done properly with the balancing of the equation. So this is the option one. When the copper is going to reduce to the copper and water is going to oxidize to the oxygen and the hydrogen. So now I'm going to ask either this is the spontaneous or the non-spontaneous. Kainat Chaudhary. So what is your opinion about this reaction? Is this reaction is the spontaneous or the non-spontaneous? Please unmute and just answer me quickly. Otherwise,
Spontaneous.
it is the yes.
Yeah, I think it's spontaneous.
Spontaneous. Okay. And let me. Mamuna Zahid.
सर ये नॉन स्पॉन्टेनियस होगा.
Okay, non-spontaneous होगा. And Vishal.
Sir, that would be non-spontaneous because when we calculate the electrode potential, तो इस केस में हमारे पास जो वैल्यू आती है वाटर की वो माइनस में आ रही है और वो वैल्यू हमारे पास बड़ी होती है और आफ्टर बीइंग माइनस हमारे पास वो जो इलेक्ट्रोड पोटेंशियल है वो माइनस में आ रहा है और जब भी इलेक्ट्रोड पोटेंशियल माइनस में आएगा that would be a non-spontaneous.
Very good. This is as simple as she has explained. So you have to calculate the cell potential. If the cell potential is minus, then it is the non-spontaneous. If it is positive, it would be a spontaneous. So what we are going to do over here, copper is going to reduce. That means it is the reduction. Reduction is happening at the cathode, and this is going to oxidize, and this is the oxidation. This is happening at the anode, and the E cell will be the equal to E cathode again minus E anode, and you have to just put the value, and the value you do not have to change the value or the reverse one of the half cell to the other, because from the intermediate or from the BS classes you are doing some very confusing way. So you have to write down, you keep the half cell in this form, electron must be on the left hand side, these should be the oxidized form, these should be the reduced form, and that's why we call them these are the reduction potential. So these are the actually the reduction potential you have to put over here. So cathode, here copper is the cathode, and the potential of copper is the 0.345 and minus, and this is the anode, and the half cell of the anode is 1.29, 1.229, and sorry.
सर माइनस 0.884 आंसर आएगा.
So the answer is the minus 0.884. 884. That's good. You have to calculate in this way. Okay, this is in word. So this minus sign is indicating that this is the non-spontaneous reaction. This may happen, but this is the non-spontaneous reaction. Actually, this is the way we will work in this class, or maybe the next class, how to make this possible reaction. Either this energy is required, or you have to provide more energy. And if more energy required, then what are the possible factors which we are going to discuss in this class. So the second option is the reverse of this one. Maybe you can write on your notebooks. So you just making the reverse of this reaction, and this is the, that mean in this case these will be the reactant, and this will be the product. Okay, and this will be the second option over here. And maybe you can write on your notebooks. And now I am going to write the cell potential for the option number 2. So this cell potential, so here these are the reactant and these are the reactant. Just to you rearrange this reactant over here and product over here. So what will be the cell potential? Again, E cathode minus E anode, and in this case the cathode is the water, because the water is going to reduce. That is contrary to this one. If this is going to be converted into this, that means oxygen is going to convert into the water, and this is going to be reduced. So reduction is always at the cathode. So it should be a 1.229, and minus anode would be the copper 0.345, and the answer is the
Same
same
with positive sign.
with the positive sign, that is 0.884 volt. So that means this marked with the red is the spontaneous,
Spontaneous.
and the negative is the non-spontaneous. So this we have done today. Actually, there is not sufficient time I am having to explain the rest of the factors. So one factor today we have discussed, that if you want this reaction, possible reaction, then you must have to provide this minimum energy, and this minus sign is indicating that you have to provide the energy. Positive sign is giving you the information you are getting the energy. That means the reaction is spontaneous, that's why you are getting the energy. And the minus sign mean you have to provide the energy if you want this reaction to convert into this form. So this is the we call, this is the first one is the potential. This is the standard cell potential, because we are just putting the value of the standard cell potential. These are the E naught, maybe you put correct in your notebook. So these values are the standard cell potential, and because these are the at the standard cell conditions. So one factor we have discussed today, you must need a standard cell potential to convert this spontaneous reaction to the non-spontaneous reaction. If you want to convert this, actually we are talking to this because this is the non-spontaneous. So if you want to be convert, or you want to say to reduce the copper in the presence of the water, then you have to provide 0.884 volt energy, and that is the standard cell potential as calculated from this simple formula. So rest in the coming lecture, I will describe the rest of the factors. So as a homework, I suggest, and I have already shared you the list of electrochemical series, and you can take any of the two half cell, maybe the complicated half cell, because your level is the MPhil level. So don't worry about the length of the half cells. You can take any half cells, and in a similar way you can do the exercise and what we have discussed in today's lecture, and at least decide the spontaneity of the reaction, which one is the spontaneous, which one is the non-spontaneous, because this is very very important. And the rest of the lectures I will be discussing some more important issues relevant to the solubility or the formation of the solution, because we as a chemist always work with the solution, and we will decide some sort of the stability of these metal ions in the water at the standard condition and the non-standard condition. And this is very beautiful chemistry and very interesting topic, and as a chemist you must know this one to understand the concept. So with this